Hi everyone, it's past 2 o'clock in the morning. It's Monday, and the weekend has been tough for me. It's been one that has gotten me thinking about my life as an expatriate or as an expat. Let me begin by saying that before coming to Japan, I had idealized the life of an expatriate because of the associated glamour. You get to live within the foreign community, or if you want me to be posh about it, an enclave. You get to acquire a certain international polish. You get to make connections from all over the world, and you get to live in a cosmopolitan city like uh, New York or LA or Singapore, Hong Kong, or in my case, Tokyo. That's great. That's great. Even literature has examples of how the expat life is pretty glamorous and can be idealized. Perfect example would be Ernest Hemingway's The Sun Also Rises. But just like the novel, the actual life of an expat, like me, I'm not here working, I'm here as a student, but I am an expat nonetheless. In reality, being an expat, especially here in a city like Tokyo, is a lonely existence. It's enough to live in Tokyo. Tokyo is a relatively cramped area where you have millions of people going about their business, going to work, getting their livelihood done, taking care of their families, adhering to strict social codes that Japanese people take for granted. And for us foreigners, those unwritten social mores are, potential landmines because it takes trial and error or a lot of explanation from our Japanese friends to be able to understand them. In short, living in Tokyo can be forbidding and it can be dangerously lonely. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of expats chose to live with other expats, date other expats, marry other expats, hang out with other expats, because that's what I do. Within the 1 year, almost 11 months that I had spent here at ICU, living in Tokyo, living in Japan, my closest friendships were with other foreigners. And I think, please don't take this the wrong way, what made it worse was that many of these fellow expats, fellow students whom I had befriended, knew that they would be here for just a year. And I figured, hey, take friends wherever you can make them, right? And if they're good people, that would be good. Last week, two of my closest friends here in Japan, a couple from Finland, went back home. And I'm happy for them. I knew that they had wanted to return home, to see the North once again and get on with their lives once more. Just like my friends who live in the East Coast of the U.S. or in the West Coast, or my friend in the Midwest, or people who went back to the Philippines, or my friend in Germany. One of the perils of the life of an expat is this. When you befriend someone, you're not sure when you're gonna say goodbye, and you're not sure when that person will say goodbye to you. But you befriend them nonetheless. You get into a relationship with them, all that withstanding. You marry them and you try to settle down, and you try to settle all the cultural differences. So this rant will be about, obviously, the life of an expat here in Japan. This is just my take on it. It hasn't been easy because Tokyo has this crushing loneliness, and it always has a way of tapping your shoulder when you least expect it. I was surprised at how lonely I got when I was out Friday night in a club surrounded by people who were drunk, happy, dancing to the beats of a pretty good DJ. And I felt lonely because I asked myself, I'm in a crowded place, but I don't feel any connection anywhere. Yes, I was with a friend, but with everyone else, everyone seemed to be living in their own close worlds. And many people had their groups of friends with them. Yeah, I did have a group of friends. They didn't really know each other, but I would consider them a group. When you live in Tokyo, you scramble, you scrape to be able to find that connection, romantic or platonic or otherwise, because that's what the city does to you. It turns you into a lonely person. And even if you already, and if you are already a lonely person, it turns you even lonelier. There's something about the quietness of Shinjuku. There's something about the dim lights at Shibuya at 9 p.m. when the stores begin to close. There's something about the howl of the soul of the lonely dog here in Mitaka at night. It tells you that you are alone and that no matter how good your Japanese could be, even if you make Japanese friends, or even if you are constantly surrounded by a revolving door of expatriate friends, you will always be lonely and you will have to deal with that. I made the choice to move to Japan, and I admit I came here with a lot of preconceived notions, and I came here idealistic, smiling, and happy. Now I'm looking for new friends, and I am keeping the old ones, that's for sure. To those of you who know you've been keepers as friends, know that you are loved. But I'm also looking for new people with whom I can be, physically close to, whom I can hang out with, watch TV with, watch a movie with, go out to the bars with. If a relationship were to make itself known, fantastic, great. And then I also realized that even now that I am an expat and all of my friends have left, how would I react if I were to get into a long-term or a serious relationship with a fellow expat or someone whom I knew would leave after a certain given period of time? How would I react? Would I shatter? Would my world crumble? Would I be inconsolable? I don't even want to think about that. And it made me think maybe now is not the time for me to look for one. Maybe I should focus on building a better relationship with myself because I think I need to confront this loneliness that I have been experiencing all my life and which has been heightened and given subtler hues by my life here in Japan. I will treat loneliness as a friend, as a welcome companion, and I think I need to tell it when to stop knocking on the door of my heart and when to stop tapping my shoulder when it just wants to. I've also, just to update you guys, I've walked away from a number of people just this past week because I felt that the way they treated me was not the way I wanted to be treated. And perhaps they would be better friends for other people, just not for me. I felt I deserved better, and it might have seemed like a foolish decision because, hey, now that you don't have any friends, you're walking away from people's lives. Yes, I may not have friends with me right now, but I don't think I should stick it out with people whom I know will be bad influences. That's all I wanted to share. It's Monday, I'm sleepy, I'm tired, there's a lot on my mind. I miss my friends. I miss you guys. If you're watching this, know that Elon misses you. To all of my friends in the Philippines, hey guys, miss you too. Come to Tokyo, visit me. And as for loneliness, why hello there, old friend. Maybe it's time we had a long talk about how things should go. That's all I have to say for now. This is Elon Galang, signing out. See you soon.